So we are going to be looking at Ephesians chapter 4, verses 26 and 27, and I will be in what's called the Bible Hub. Now it begins that we are to be angry and sin not. So that tells you there's a possibility that you could have some anger that's not sinful. This is from a Greek word, arge, meaning wrath. So don't have wrath that's sinful. Furthermore, do not let the Helios, the sun, set upon your anger. Now, why is that true, that you need to settle things right away? So we'll go to the next verse. Verse 27. And neither give opportunity. Topon, from topos, a place, topographical, place, maps. Don't give a place for the devil. And this translation, of course, I guess, is the King James. Don't give opportunity for the devil. So I want to talk a little bit about anger, and in particular Ephesians 4, 26 and 27. So I'm going to go to my notebook here. Now, based on the verse, you can see that basically there's two types of anger. Righteous anger. Now, anytime God has anger, it's 100% righteous and justifiable. When we have anger, I put down mostly it's unrighteous. Now, I'd like to leave a little space for the possibility of some righteous anger existing in your life and mine. However, I want to caution you against that, because remember, pride is the big sin. So we might say, well, gee, my anger is always a righteous anger. And the truth of the matter is that almost always the anger we experience is unrighteous. But I leave it open as a possibility, all right? And we are to settle it before the sun goes down. Now, in Jewish tradition, they measured the day as beginning at sunset, which is why if you ever want to go to synagogue with Jewish friends, they will try to determine what is the precise moment of sunset Friday evening, our Friday evening, which actually begins for them at sunset a Saturday or a Sabbath. Now, the Roman tradition is sunrise to sunrise. Okay? Now, sunset to sunset for Jewish, sunrise to sunrise for the Romans. So let's say that we experience anger and we let it linger. It turns to bitterness. And if you noticed, I put anger is kind of the outward rage, and bitterness is kind of the inward rage. Now the Bible talks about a root of bitterness in Hebrews chapter 12, verses 14 to 15. And later on in this chapter, Paul will tell us to get rid of all bitterness. Don't keep it. And many times people do keep the bitterness. And I'm not exempting myself from this message. Okay? It is a root, and that root will take hold. Now, let's talk a little bit about the possibility of righteous anger. Moses had it coming off the mountain when he saw them dancing around the golden calf, and he threw the 10 Commandments down. Jesus had it when he cleansed the temple. So you have to be very, very, very close to God, and you have to always side with God in order to experience what's called righteous anger. What are examples of unrighteous anger? Well, you have the disciples wanting to call down fire from heaven and burn the people up. Let's call for an airstrike with napalm bombs and just burn them up, Lord. And then you have King Saul, who got so mad at David that he hurled his spear at him. So much anger in the man. Well, what can you do, what can I do when anger comes? Well, you can walk away. Now, I put down there, run away. And that literally happened to me. I was with someone one time who was saying nasty things about me and my family. And I felt myself getting so angry, I thought perhaps I could let go and maybe even strike the individual. So I ran away at a high rate of speed. Now, I was not running from the individual, I was running from myself to get myself away from the situation. So you need to get away, pull away, calm yourself down. And when you calm yourself down, try to think about all the times you were hurt by someone else's anger. And maybe your anger is doing the same to this individual. Now you can just have some good old honest prayer with God. Jonah was in the belly of the whale. That's what it took. He was angry. He was angry that God wanted to save these Ninevites. And he still had the anger even after the town had one of the greatest revivals in all of history. You can read the book of Jonah. And he still had it. And that's that ending chapter where he's by the bush and he's by the tree and the shade and all that. But get in the belly of the whale and do some honest praying, just like Jonah did. Now, what else can you do? You can confess it as sin. Most likely, you have unrighteous anger. You can pray for the person that you're angry with. Yes, that's right. Turn it around. 1 minute you're angry at them, the next minute you are actually praying for that individual that got you so angry. And Jesus taught us to pray for our enemies, love our enemies, even pray for our enemies. I suggest you write it down on a piece of paper, the whole thing, get it out, and then tear it up into 1,000 pieces and throw it away. Then just go out and get some good old-fashioned exercise. Take a very long walk, go out and jog, whatever it is, go swimming, play tennis, whatever it is you do it because your body's all tensed up and you need to let it all go. So let's go back to our verse that we are to do what? Let it all go. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. See if I can get that back on screen here. Well, I'm having a hard time getting it back on screen. But anyhow, don't let the sun go down on your anger. I hope this was helpful. End of video.